What do you think your big problems are?
I think and I'm not gonna act like I'm some super mechanical player, but I definitely
Yeah.
think I have macro issues. There's a lot of moments where I can't decide if I should completely commit to splitting or grouping. You see, I take Dusk Blade a lot, and that's because when we do group, I think it's better
Hmm.
than Prowler's Claw, which is way better to me for splitting.
Yeah.
But
Mobility.
I find myself grouping so often, which apparently is like a big low elo thing.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly A ramming it. I'm like pushing a side lane and trying to run over, but sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. I guess another thing, definitely uh, pipe a lot. I have been. I haven't been like the last couple weeks, but I do. I have been definitely known to type a lot.
Yeah. That's not something I can really help you too much with, but
I mean, like I said, I haven't been doing
yeah.
it much lately,
That
but
that's good. My big thing to say there is just remember your team sucks. They're in that for that one game, they're stuck. You're going to have games that are just
I mean,
lost no matter
usually
what.
when
Just
the main reason I'm typing is if I am splitting, and it's when they send two or three people after me, and I die and they don't get anything done. That's
yeah.
usually when I'm.
That's interesting you bring that up because that's something I found is a thing that happens a lot. You can still see my screen, right?
Yep.
So let's say you are, let's see, draw. Let's say you're Z. Is that drawing? God, that sucks. That is extremely skinny. See if there's a better way to draw on this. One thing I know is that a lot of the time, especially in lower elos, people like to split, and then if they die, they get upset that people don't get anything on the map. But a lot of the time, I'll see you
Mm-hmm.
as Z down here.
Yep.
Um, your let's say your red team, blue team is sends 1, 2, 3, 4 down here for you.
Okay.
Um, but your team, your bot just based, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your jungler's taking his red buff, and your mid laner's clearing a wave right here, right?
Yep.
If you're right here, you don't have adequate vision. You don't have a ward there. You need to have uh, vision up here, here, here to make sure you don't die. And if you do die, your team's in the base, right? Your team's not in a position to do anything. Your bot just reset. If you're playing very aggressive, but you notice your team is here and here, they're not in a position to take something if they send 4 people for
Right.
you. Whereas if instead of your bot was here, if your bot was up here and your mid and your jungler was taking their top camps and your mid laner was here, or you're the mid laner, but the top laner was here, they send 4 bot, your team just immediately groups up and goes Baron. It's it's kind of like, think about it, World War II. Germany fought the Western Front,
Mm-hmm.
and then Russia came in, and then they had 2 fronts to defend, right? And that's
Right.
part of why they lost. Think about it like this way: you are one front that they have to face right here, and they can just send all 4, and it's no problem because they just immediately send 4 here, then they can send 4 here, then they can send 4 here. But if you wait for your team to just slowly come out of base and then then you push up. So while they're in base, you should probably be staying back here. Depending on what your vision looks like, you're probably going to have maybe one pink on you, no trinket wards. So you probably won't have much vision, and if you're in silver, your support's probably not going to ward much, so you have to be very careful. So you just kind of play back and play very safe until you know your team is pushing up. If that makes sense. You can push the wave, make the wave go up here. You just sit back out of vision so they don't know where you are. If they send 4 bot for you here, you know, they don't get anything out of it. Your team might not get anything out of it, unfortunately. When you get into higher elos, they'll start doing that. But even in higher elos, they won't always take something, because if you're pushing up, when they just reset, that's on you for dying to 4-man and not on your team for resetting. Right. A lot of the time. Sometimes they shouldn't have reset, but it is, as a general, you just want to play safe until your team is in a position, have 2, have 3 pressure points on the map that if that really stresses them out, and they won't know how to respond to that. It's a lot easier said than done, of course, but that's dying when team. Yeah, you might be also saying when the team is on the map. Correct me if I'm wrong with that. That's kind of how I interpreted.
I mean, sometimes yes and sometimes no. I'm sure there's definitely examples of me just mindlessly pushing. But
yeah.
There is sometimes when they just shoving in waves and not hitting the tower.
Mm-hmm.
They see me die and they chase, like they come to avenge me instead of pushing.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's just not much you can do about it. It's just a little unlucky. But is there anything else?
Not off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's like a million things. I mean, it wouldn't be so
yeah.
otherwise, you know.
So I haven't really taken a look at your OPGG. I see you're playing mostly just Zed, which is good. It's good to just...
I don't really have a good secondary champ. I've been practicing Irelia, so that's who I want to be my secondary, but usually when Zed's banned, she is also banned.
Yeah.
My third pick's just kind of random.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to find a good secondary role, and I don't like ADC. Like, I like ADC, I just don't think you can carry very well with it, so I'm trying to learn top, but I almost never get top.
I think ADC is extremely strong and very underrated right now. I think as a mid laner, if their bot just gets extremely ahead, there's just not much you can do. But that assumes the ADC plays smart and safe, and that assumes the support actually peels.
Yeah, well, I don't like relying.
Yeah.
Like the split pushing type playstyle, and I don't want to be the ADC that split pushes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be relying on my support necessarily.
Yeah. So
that's my thought process. I mean,
yeah,
it could be bad.
I'm just gonna filter your Zed game specifically. So it looks like your stats are pretty good. You have a lot of kills, not too many deaths, still higher than you'd like to see, of course, but it's not bad. Not many assists. I'm guessing one of the problems you run into a lot is that it feels like you get really fed, but your team lets you down.
Usually what I'm seeing is I will, and I think maybe another thing you could write is like I don't roam during the laning phase a lot. Usually just like, honestly, like a lot of the times I will just absolutely crush my lane. Like I'll be like 3 levels ahead of my laner, and I'll roam and I'll ping, like back up. Sometimes they back up, most of the time they don't. But it's a lot of the time it's like I completely destroy my lane, but I'm going against 4 fed people. So maybe I'm not playing like the team game and I'm not helping my team, you know?
I mean, another thing to think of with that is, let's say you currently are 2-0 at 10 minutes into the game. right?
Okay. Sure.
The laning is still going on. You go look at your top lane. They have 2 kills, and your top laner is 0 and 2. Here, let's put 2 and 0, and like 3, 1 and 4 is their bot, and 1, 5 and 2. That's really bad, but and you're sitting there 2-0 in mid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going, when you have your ult up, instead of just going third, mindlessly killing him again, sometimes it's best to just push it in, play with, again, it's important to play with your jungler, shut down their bot before they get too ahead, and then go for dragon. If you think you can win it, if you think their jungler won't counter gank or whatever, maybe go with your jungler, go top lane, 3-man him. Even if their jungler shows up, hopefully you would win the 3v2. But again, one of the most important things, play around your jungler. I like to think of mid as kind of like a jungler support a lot of the time. Jungler is just OP right now, and again, if you're destroying your lane and you notice that both the other lanes are winning, you don't get much by killing him again. Maybe a plate and 100 gold, but he's not really in the equation anymore. You're better off trying to just push the wave in and roaming and try to help your other lanes. Don't force anything and die yourself. But in hypotheticals, it's always way too many factors to consider. It's hard to consider all that, but all right, your CS seems to be pretty good.
It's normally okay until
Yeah.
I start grouping, then it falls off.
Which makes sense. You're always ahead of your enemy laner at least, which is really good. Those are good numbers, 7, 7. Anything above 6, honestly, and gold or below is really good. Like, see this, 4 CS per minute. I mean, she's LeBlanc, that's hard to farm on, but you're always way above, so that's really good. A lot of these games are high deaths. You had a lot of kills, but you had a lot of deaths. Right. And notice the ones that you have a lot of kills, but you win, tend to be the ones don't have a lot of deaths. Like, you lost this one with 12, you lost this one with 7. Yeah. All right. Do you want to screen share?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. And I'll keep taking some notes during the game for you. Hopefully they don't. I don't see it. It's starting to pop up. There we go. All right, yeah, there we go. Feel free to hop in queue whenever, yeah.
So do you stream, or what do you do?
Not often, just occasionally for fun. Okay. Just an engineer.
Okay.
Yeah. Graduated college last year, 2020.
I am a medic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That must be interesting with COVID.
Yeah. I mean, it's always interesting.
Yeah.
What's your peak by curiosity?
Can't remember exactly, but around D2. I just hit.
Yeah, diamond is my goal. I mean, I
Yeah.
know everyone's like, oh, once I hit this rank, I'll quit.
You just want
But
more
man,
after.
I just want to hit diamond so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think diamond's
When you
not
watch,
too hard. Anyone can get it if they just
yeah,
practice
and
hard.
that's what everyone says, and that's why I'm like, well, yeah, come on, I can do this, and then you get hard stuck. Like my peak is like gold 1,
Gold one. Okay.
but I want to hit diamond.
Yeah, my goal for this season was to hit diamond playing a mage instead of assassins, and I finally hit it 2 days ago, I think, with Syndra mostly. But so I think I'm like 50 something LP D4.
Yeah.
But it's just important to. The biggest thing that I see a lot of people who are stuck in silver or gold is they think they're trying on stuff, but they just focus on a lot of the wrong stuff and they just don't try to learn from their mistakes. That's the biggest
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, I spam games and I don't
Yeah.
even think about
Yeah.
what just happened.
Obviously, playing as much as possible is extremely important because that's how you improve. You need to play a lot to get better. You can only learn so much from videos or coaching or whatever. You have to play, but you don't just mindlessly spam games. You got to kind of think about it a little bit. And while you're playing, the most important thing is to just make sure you're playing and you're using your brain when you play. Biggest things are what should I be doing right now and what does the enemy want to do right now. If you can think of those two things constantly, you will climb a lot. Think, oh, what does the enemy mid laner want to do? If it's Xerath or something, for example,
Yeah.
you know, they want to push you in.
I'm really hoping I actually get Zed because
Yeah, he gets banned a lot.
I'd hate to take this coaching session as me trying to like learn a champ while also focusing.
Yeah. Huh. The stream is a little bit laggy. Not sure if there's anything you can do to fix that, but
Probably not. Not really.
I can make do with it, but
I mean, if it doesn't really end up working, I can always play the game and then
review it later.
like download it and go watch
Yeah.
it.
Mana Culture. Silas banner.
What, you like Silas?
No, I ban him now too. Last patch I was banning Viego or Gwen, but
I can't get fed off of Silas. I don't know. And even if he's 0 and 6, he's still useful.
yeah. My thing is I usually end up winning lane, but no matter what, he always ends up being useful. So this is going to be interesting because they have a Shen, so this is going to change how you play the game. Shen will always change.
That look fun to you?
Look fun? Oh, look fine. Yeah. Taste of Blood is decent. Ultimate Hunter. You could also go the movement one if you want, just because they have Shen and Talon, and they're gonna move. They move around the map very quickly. But that's up to you if you want the ultimate cooldown. But yeah, I mean, I think that looks like a fine rune page. So that might. I was thinking that was Zig's bot. That's Shen support, probably. I have no idea. It might be Talon top, Shen support, Ziggs mid. So you might want to swap to HP if you don't know, or could keep armor just to be safe, because armor is always useful.
I'll just keep it
Oh.
up. Because
oh yeah, you were. Can you just stream your screen instead of the game? If you go to share your screen and then on the right of applications at the top, it'll show screens. I think I'll get better. It'll lag less if you share the screen instead of the game.
for some reason it's not letting me.
All right then.
I don't know.
It's starting to load up.
You there?
Yeah, I see your cursor, but I don't see anything in the game.
Okay. Hold on, let me try.
Yeah, no worries. Get to your lane first. That's before you try to mess with the settings. Just so you're there in case.
Okay. Let me try to share it again.
No worries. You sharing the game or the screen? Okay, there we go.
How's that?
That's better. That's better. I can see it. Thank you.
All right.
Perfect.
So
okay, yeah, so you're
Vayne
against
top.
Talon. So yeah. Shen support. So Vayne top. Interesting. So basically in Talon lane, you want to not get hit by a second W and you win the lane.
Just like that.
Yeah. You walked straight back. I would have walked to the right. Just
Oh, yeah.
But go for a Q when he goes for that minion. Yeah, nice try. Good job. When he goes for that minion, you could trade autos. Yeah, he could have probably gotten Electrocute proc off there, but probably not worth it. Remember, he's going to get level 2 off this next minion. So probably go for a Q on that bottom one. Get the farm. Nice. Yeah. You generally just want to focus on farming instead of poking with him, but it's not bad. Nice. Pot. He's out of health pots, so you're winning this slowly. I would recommend slow pushing. It's gonna be 3:15 soon. Hecarim might be able to gank soon. You could flash forward. He might die to it. Nice. Hecarim's top, so you're good here. Just fast push it, because Hecarim could run beeline right mid. I'd say save your W in case he does come mid. Q and run away. Yeah. I would W over that wall. Nice. And that's why you save your W. And it might even be better for you to just run away earlier. But remember, we saw Hecarim there top. That's the only reason we went and decided to push the wave in. Otherwise, we might just call it a loss or have to call Malphite in. But I'm looking up Talon's cooldowns right now. His ult is 180, 60. Okay. So his ult has a lower cooldown than yours. Remember that?
Talon?
Yeah. Nice idea. You probably don't want to trade too much here. You might. He's probably not going to roam here. That doesn't really get him anything. I'd probably ping again. I'd ping Malphite. Ping Malphite. You might want to roam. Just look. Yeah. This is good. This is good. Remember, you have flash. You can flash WEQ if you need to. Nice. You just head back mid. Yeah. See, your wave wasn't in a great spot to roam, but that was a skirmish.
Normally, I would shove the wave first, and that... I mean, it worked out, but I don't know if that was, like, correct per se.
The reason I think that was correct was because I kind of had you look, and I would have told you to run back if I thought it was bad. Auto, like, 4 times, and then run back, base... Go back and base, probably, unless you want to try to kill him. The reason I thought it was good was because I would have liked you to have panned your camera earlier before moving, but it's hard to get you to pan the camera, and it's better to just tell you to move first, and then I can just tell you move back. You miss maybe 1 minion if it's bad, and you decide not to roam. But... it's important. Notice how you wouldn't want to roam bot there, but you might want to follow your laner. Because that
normally I would have shoved and
yeah.
Then looked. That might be.
Remember, he gets ult on this wave probably, so be very careful if he gets ult here. You don't know what minion because he missed a lot of XP, but yeah. So he's looking to kill you. I'm not sure where Hecarim is. Your bot is getting pushed in really heavily. Nah, he's not going anywhere. Just last hit with Q. Yeah, it was a nice idea. Nice Q. I'm interested what's happening top here too. But... because your Malphite's really low.
No, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Hecarim's on Dragon, so you can go for a fight in 2 seconds. Yeah, nice. So can you stop? Can you look at Hecarim for a sec? But when you're pushing, nah, he's full health. The reason I say to look is you're just pushing this wave in. You don't really need to be looking mid, right?
Right.
Just yeah, reset, tempo reset. But because you don't really need to be looking mid, you can just look and see, after I push this wave, what am I going to do? Do I want to... yeah, you should push that in. That's unlucky. Didn't crash all the way. But figure out what you want to do before you push the wave in, instead of just pushing the wave in and then figuring out what you want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hecarim's probably bot. You might want to run straight bot here. Start walking bot. Just if the fight's still going on. I would W to get there faster. Because Talon's probably coming too. Just in case. Be careful walking into the jungle though. They might be doing something. Just help Malphite make sure he can get to his wolves. Okay, yeah, you can... I don't think you can chest this drag. Your jungler's playing really slow. Yeah, it's a little int. He's level 4 playing up really aggressive. Wait, you have an action
don't know why
support.
he's playing. Yeah, I don't know why he's playing that champion. Period.
You know, this might be my bad. I probably should have told you to dodge. You can play really aggressive here. He has no ult. You might want to take it. Auto one, some more, and then ult. He's gonna just... Yeah, unlucky. I think Hecarim still has ult. I can't say for sure, but he didn't use it in the dragon fight. You could freeze since he needs to reset, but you're probably better off pushing for tempo and trying to roam. Remember, your team's all topside. You have no vision, so you should probably go try to get a ward out after you cleared that wave. Actions... I don't think you kill him. Remember, your Malphite's still going for it. You don't know where their top is. You don't know where their mid is, so he could get collapsed on. It's one of those things. You don't go do anything, but just be aware of what's going on. You might need to. He probably has ult again.
I'd rather he didn't sit mid. But...
No, it's not much you can do about that. I would just try to fast push and help your jungler out because he's invading against Hecarim. And we don't know how healthy Hecarim is, so we want to look too. What's going on top too? Yeah.
Our ADC is like, I don't know if he's doing Gromp.
He can't really do much is the problem. Go. I'd say go Heck.
Fuck.
Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
I didn't know who to ult there.
Yeah, I say Heck only because we know Talon has ult, remember?
Yeah.
And Heck has ult too, but with Talon ult, you have to just kind of hope you can hit him when he's invisible. He can also potentially hop over that wall. I'm not sure if he had the wall available or not to hop. You can always use your red trinket. I'm not sure if you had it, but nice. Push the wave fast. Can you press tab? So notice how this is the same situation. You're winning mid. You don't want to keep killing Talon. He's not worth much. You want to help your team out. You want to push this wave and probably roam top if Malphite's topside. He doesn't have ult, so you might want to just sit in Fog of War and wait till he gets ult. But, yeah, walk topside, see what's going on. Also look bot, because it looks like there's some interesting stuff going on. Yeah, maybe just head back mid, bot. But I probably should have had you looking bot there first instead of that. Ping Jin to reset. He's going to die to...
I normally look at whatever side the jungler's on.
Talon's going to kill your support unless you ping him off right now. Ping Jin off. Ping Jin off. And I'd say roam bot too. Yeah. That's unlucky. Yeah, you probably just head mid. You could catch that wave bot if you want, but... Yeah, catch the wave. He has no ult. Right here, Jin should be heading mid and you should push this next wave bot, but because this is silver...
They don't know
yeah.
rotations.
Okay, yeah. Right there, I probably would have gone for it. You're also holding yourself. I want to see where Hecarim is. I want to see what he's looking like, how healthy it is. You see that he was there on the mini-map, but notice how you didn't look, so you had no idea if he was low HP or if he was full. Okay. Malphite. Be nice if you could pan over to Malphite, see what's going on, but... Yeah, you might want to just head there. Nah, just... Use your trinket too. See if they see you coming. I might give it to your ADC, but
Okay, so I should. Is this the point where I should start giving it to other people?
Well, I mean, the thing is, you're already really fed. You head back to Dragon. You're never mind. Your support's just inting. You might be able to kill Ziggs here though. He has no heal. Yeah, you don't need to ult. You do anyway. But that's huge because he had a big shutdown. Oh, that's unlucky. So did you. Not sure if you noticed when you saw Talon's R, your R was still up, so you might have been able to just immediately pop back.
Tried to, my frames are dropping.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you can see. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
see
when
that dropping
seen
up
it
here.
and pressed star, it was already gone.
Yeah, it's unlucky. It happens though. You're doing well. My biggest thing is I'd like you to look around the map a lot more.
Okay.
You know, like right now, Orange heading there, just go mid. But right now, you're watching yourself walk to lanes. You should be watching what's going on in the lanes. What's going on mid? What's going on top? Dragon's up. You know.
Yeah.
Jin is heading mid. They're doing Dragon. You probably don't contest because Malphite's on red for whatever reason. I say push this wave and then go top side. Reason I say that is, remember, their team is making a play on the bot side of the map, so you want to try to make a play on Vayne top side if she's there. So watch yourself, watch up top. It's good to pan over there. See, now you can go kill Vayne. Hopefully. If he can just survive. Huge. Very nice combo. Unfortunate that it's not a shutdown. Yeah, help him get tower. Push the wave and then just roam back mid. Talon's getting a lot. Ideally, someone would be covering mid and something else, and your Jin ADC wouldn't try to 1v3 tower. That's already dead. But again, that's stuff you can't really help. He probably has ult. You can't kill that.
I don't have my ult. So.
No, yeah. Remember, he probably uses ult on the dragon fight there, and he has a lower cooldown.
I meant like he was ulting the.
Oh yeah. Hecarim's there. You might want to reset soon. We don't know where their support is. Shen has ult. That's something to consider. If she goes for another auto up, you can ult, but play slow till you have your W. I'd say go on Vayne in this fight, unless someone has a shutdown. Oh, that's unlucky.
Oh.
That's unlucky. But I've definitely seen enough that I have some comments for sure.
Okay.
It's unlucky that your team's not doing a lot.
I mean, like I said, this is kind of normal.
It happens.
I mean, I think the difference here is I have left my lane more for sure.
Yeah. That one, the roam that worked out when they were invading your Malphite, that's probably the big one.
Yeah. Should I go top?
You go mid or bot here, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, orange
Or
going mid.
top.
And
You don't want top.
Yeah.
You don't want top because it's pushing in. This game just was kind of lost from Champ Select. I didn't notice they had a troll support. Honestly, right there, I probably would have just pushed the wave real fast and then go help Malphite. You might want to just run. You see Talon. Notice how you were clearing the wave. You were staring at the wave the whole time. You didn't glance over.
Yeah.
Because you might want to leave the wave before you fully push it out. You don't always, but you want to know, is it a good idea? Go for Vayne. Oh, yeah, very good job. You can use your trinket to see where she went invisible. Yeah, it looks like your frames are dropping a lot, so I don't blame you for combos. It's probably hurting your PC to
No,
stream.
yeah, they are. It's just because of the screen share.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know if I've mentioned what I'm like my rig, like what I'm playing on. I
What are
am
you playing
playing
on?
on a Surface,
Oh, really?
and
Surprised you can even run
I'm
League.
playing on a hotspot. I'm also playing on a hotspot, so there's that
Braver man than I am.
too. Yeah, I'm currently basically just looking up a bunch of information on how to build my own computer. So this is just what I'm playing on
Yeah.
at the moment.
Um, Shen probably has ult. I'd go for a flank on the left side. You pop your trinket. You want to make sure they don't see you. You can W over the wall and get them. Nice. Probably ult Hecker him, but... Nice. Run away from Vayne. Yeah. Play slow. Wait till you have mana. Pop your health pod. Um, wait till you have your W up, I'd say. She kills you. Yeah. What I was saying there is, you probably... I know it's hard with your ping, but you want to play it a lot slower. Because you don't really...
Yeah.
Vayne is like the master of kiting, and you have zero pressure on her without your W up. So you just kind of stay out of her auto range. If she walks into you, you can just Q and walk away or walk into her. But I'm sorry, man. You just got mid-gapped. It's just...
It's all good.
All right. That's definitely a lot to work with, though. It's unlucky, but it happens for sure. I've had games where I'm 5-0 and 1 on LeBlanc mid, and my bot is rage quitting.
And like I said, that's kind of the standard of how my games go. Is I'm pretty fed, which is like the best thing and the most irritating thing is because I hate losing when I win
Yeah.
lane. That's because they say if you win lane you win game, and they say like if you don't win lane then you don't deserve to win the game.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. Some games you're just gonna lose lane based off of jungle, where jungles decide to path and stuff.
I know. I'm really thinking like low elo here. Like
Yeah. You should be always
honestly,
able to win lane in lower elo.
Like, when you see like people playing like Teemo support to diamond and like all these challenge, I mean I know they're like amazing, phenomenal players, but
Yeah.
they can do that, then I should be able to win this matchup in silver. That's my mindset when I play.
Yeah. Give me a sec. Pull up Discord. You can stop streaming now, by the way. And you're able to see.
No, I don't see anything.
Oh, you don't.
Okay, now I do.
You do? Okay.
Oh wait, no, is this you? This is you're just replaying my game?
Yeah, yeah. So we can go over it.
Yeah, I see it.
So going through. I mean, obviously you didn't really look at the game because
Comp. Yeah.
This is a dodge. You just dodge this, but you weren't looking.
I'm not gonna lie. I almost never dodge. And I know they say it's a big part of
It's not. I rarely dodge. It's unless you're trying to get like masters or giant or like challenger or something. Don't. It's not a big deal. But this is clearly trolling. It's a new champ that was just released. He's playing it in support.
Yeah.
You know, it's an ADC kind of, but a mid laner. It's kind of obviously a troll. So dodge trolls or flamers or whatever. Someone who's saying, "Hey, I'm gonna run it down with Disco Nunu," you know. But other than that, don't dodge. It's not really worth it. Unless you think the game is 100% lost. Nothing too important here. Ideally, right here, I would like you to be, during the load up screen in queue, figuring out what is our win con, what do I need to do in this game to win it, how do I win this lane, how do I play the 2v2 jungle matchup. It's Hecarim Talon versus Malphite Zed. How do you think this goes? The 1v1 first, and then we'll go over the 2v2. So Zed.
I think until I'm like at least level 3, but better for level 4, don't want to fight Talon. I don't want to pull in Talon. I just don't think I win that. That's why I start out. I like Scorch and I like taking the heal because I can poke a lot with my Q, and even if they poke me, I'll heal it back and do a little bit extra damage. So it's kind of like my handicap with my runes for the first couple levels.
Okay.
When I'm 3 and 4, I can actually I'm actually a champion now. Once I'm 3 and 4, I can win trades as long as I dodge his second half of the W. But as far as the jungle matchup, I feel like Malphite is almost worthless until he's 6. I don't know his jungle clear, and I don't know how good it is, but I feel like it's not that good compared to Hecarim. And Hecarim's ganks are like really nasty, and Malphite's just gonna walk in lane, so I feel like Hecarim kind of stomps Malphite too. So until I'm like level 4, I think that I'm worthless. Whereas I feel like Malphite's worthless until 6.
Yeah. So Malphite, bad till 6. Full clears, Heck, better gank. Full. You didn't mention this, but Hecarim's also a full clear jungler. He kills 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scuttle or gank. He might skip a couple camps. Ideally, if he's doing it properly, that's what he'll do. But one thing I would think about that you didn't really mention is they have Talon Hecarim very, very strong against a weak early jungle Malphite. Talon is famous for his early damage. He gets a lot of roaming, and Hecarim is a lot stronger than Malphite. They're probably going to coordinate together. Maybe not in this elo, but you have to be careful. At least have it in your head that they might try to invade your jungler together. Ideally, your jungler knows that you're Zed. You're not going to be able to do anything to prevent his push early on. But
I doubt it.
Yeah, because you're right. In levels, Talon wins level 1 for sure, level 2 probably, and potentially level 3, depending on how the first 2 levels went. But I like what you were saying. That's very important. It's important to think about that before the game starts. Kind of understand, does Hecarim have a chance to gank me early? Is he going to gank me at 245? Which is when like 3 camps like Lee Sin, Elise might start ganking you. Kindred, Kha'Zix can full clear too, depending on the game. But is it Shaco or Xin Zhao? Are they going to possibly level 2 gank you? Maybe not. Maybe they will. Jarvan, Lee Sin could level 2 gank too. Or are they something like Hecarim who likes to full clear? You don't really have to worry too much about getting ganked early. That's something else to consider. But that's not too into the game. So yeah, I like this. Spacing is... So right there, I say You had decent spacing, but I would probably just see if I can pause it correctly. Notice how he throws it up here. This is the hitbox, roughly. If you walk this way, you can dodge it a little more consistently. Because if you were right here instead of right here, you might get hit by the second rake. It's just a little more consistent to dodge it by dodging down or by dodging up. But it ended up working out. You might have known you had spacing. You might have known the length of his rake. But it's kind of nitpicky.
No, that's fine.
So yeah. So right here, yeah, you know, I would save your Q. Because your minion here and here are very low. And that one too. So you want to wait to throw your Q for when he goes to auto the minion, because for that brief second, he just stops.
Right.
And it's basically free to get the hit on him. Again, small, but it adds up. Nice job. You can walk up and trade with him here. You can go for an auto, Q, potentially another auto, but I like that you didn't. Because you would proc your electrocute.
The minions.
But yeah, the minions are there. You did this much for free, and he did nothing to you, so that's an insane trade. It's better to do 20% for nothing versus 30 for 15.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
So I remember during the game I mentioned you might want to go for the third auto for electrocute, but I changed my mind. I think that was the right play for sure. So yeah. I'd honestly look for Q when he goes for this minion here. You can stand a little more aggressive. Ideally, you would be standing here, so you could try to Q zone him from the minion because he has no W. And you could try to hit him and the minion and then walk back to tower, because when he kills it, he gets level 2. But his W will still be down, so if he Qs on you, he doesn't have anything else to use, so it'll just be autos. Whereas if he had Rake there, I think you were doing well there. But notice how right here you stay on this side. If instead of walking back that way, you wrapped around here.
Or my normal thought process is I'm trying to Q like last hit and hit them at the same time, so I
yeah. Not bad. You just go for the Q on there, hit him too. Oh, that's unlucky. You don't get the minion. Oh, that's really unlucky. You could auto that. You don't need to. You miss a minion for that Q. It's probably not worth it. Remember, you're better off just going for farm instead of harass for the most part. You can go for an auto. He's playing safe. Notice, just remember, jungler's pathing here. Hecarim's a better jungler, so he's probably already on his wolves, on his third camp, but just something to think about. You could be posturing very aggressive when he goes for that cannon. You know he's going to want it. So I'd like to see you already up here, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if he goes,
I know he's going for it.
Yeah, because that is horrible. If he W's here, then you get to go for a nice W EQ here, or you could do it here potentially, but you want to do it a little bit off him so you're more guaranteed to land the shurikens, because if you W right on him, it's really hard to hit him. But if he goes for the cannon, which he will, you get a really good trade. You already popped his bone plating. It seems like you might, yeah, you do it a little late, but you had the intention there, but you weren't looking for it beforehand, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
So I think you missed cannon for that too. Maybe you dodged Q. Nice. Not bad. A lot of this micro stuff is kind of nitpicky. Right here, I don't know if you use your F keys or anything. I think it's useful to look top here. Just see what's going on. You're probably not going to roam with that. You don't have boots or anything, but it'd be nice to see what's going on here with Malphite and Ornn. But
I'm probably like I'm probably like too zoned in to
yeah,
what's happening in the game.
yeah, because that's a little lucky because you almost died without that level up, which I didn't notice. And again, you see Hecarim's top, so that's the reason you push here. And you lived because I told you not to use your W. I have a feeling you would have used it if...
I usually do, yeah.
Yeah.
I use it to shove and then run.
A lot of the time, right here, one thing I probably would have done is I wouldn't have cared about getting all these last hits. Right now, right here, I would have started walking back.
Yeah.
And then I would have used Q to last hit one of them and let the other one fall because, as you saw it, if you remember, it was very close to dying here.
Yeah.
You barely got into the bush before Hecarim with Predator and Hecarim. If he had flash up, you might die still. Or if you were a quarter of a second later, you would have to blow your flash or something. So it worked out well, but just remember, I'm not saying never use your W to push. It's look at what's going on the map. If you use your W, will you potentially die, or will you is there a risk?
Or something.
Yeah. So it was fine. Looking here. How much gold do you have? For some reason, my taskbar is showing up. Yeah, you're looking at what's going on here, which is good. I'm not sure if it's because I told you to, but you're also not looking at... You what?
I had like 850 gold or something.
Okay. I would have liked you to look at the map a little bit. When you're walking to lane right now, I think I was talking to you, but ideally, you would be figuring out... You'd be looking at the thing and say, Vayne is 1-1, Ornn is 0-1. You're going to have to kill Vayne at some point in the near future, and your bot's also losing. Right? We'll assume that it's not Akshan. We'll assume it's a normal support. But you when you're walking back to lane, you say, okay, I'm winning lane. What's going on in the rest of the lanes? Losing, 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 even. He has a kill, but it's Malphite, so he's still kind of behind a Hecarim in terms of pressure and everything. So you kind of look, but not really. Not too important. Not the best W ever for you, but it's not a big deal. Walk forward and E, yeah. So right here is where that fight is, right? That you end up, I tell you to go to. So right now, what I would like to see you do is you're just last hitting. This is very easy, especially for Zed. You put no effort into it. You get basically all the minions, right? Look at your minimap. See, okay, I have 3 people there. Look at their health. They're all full health. So if a fight goes out, this could work out really well for us. So you just immediately realize this fight, if there is a fight, I want to immediately rotate and I want to be there because I think we might win it if I go. You know Talon's there, and you might even want to pop your F key or put your mouse on the map and click it and see what's going on, right? Because notice how, and now you see Hecarim there, you immediately react. You're hopefully deciding already while you were clearing those minions, you were looking to say, if something happens, I saw Talon roaming, we might win this. I want to be ready to roam. I'm not going to roam until I see something going on, but I want to be ready to react. And now you see him. I would have liked to have seen you start roaming now. I told you to just go because I didn't see what was going on, and I would tell you to run back if, you know, it didn't already. But if you reacted immediately, you would probably be right here. You could just immediately go do a lot more. You'd be able to cut them off a lot easier. But basically the main thing there So you need to look at the map a lot more when you're playing. If you're playing something like Oriana level 4, you're probably not going to roam much. So you don't need to look at it as much. But if you're playing an assassin, you're winning lane, you need to impact the map. If you're playing Talon, if you're playing Zed, if you're playing Irelia, if you're playing Kiana, right? And it ended up working out really well still, but you'd had a very nice combo there. Wonderful. Good here. Right here, he just eat over and you have a Jhin there still. I probably just head right back mid immediately since you already got a kill. Helps your bot get ahead again too. But it is what it is. It doesn't matter too much. If you're playing for yourself, you can go for it. He might have also been able to get out. I can't say for sure.
He might have got away.
Yeah, but yeah. Again, you're walking back and watching yourself. There's no reason to. Heck just died. And there's no one else is going to be there. So you could be looking back at your wave and see what's my wave like. So you can plan what you're going to do while you're walking back. And you already know it's slow pushing to the enemy. So you probably use your W here. And you use your W here unlike last time because you know the enemy jungle and mid are dead. Right here, I immediately reset here or walk here and reset. Just because you have enough gold for either your tier 2 boots or you can get the Warhammer or whatever it's called, the attack, the other thing, Caulfield or, you know the item. 1100 gold and give CDR because you can get that and then you're back on the map by the time Talon is, roughly. You go for the plate, which is a little bit greedier. But, so yeah, you have to waste ult to get out. But yeah, see, you got a plate, but you didn't get much else off of it. And if you reset, you could have pushed it and then potentially gotten the plate afterward. But I didn't tell you to do that in the time. Again, right now, you're farming your wave. There's not much going on. I'd like to see what's going on top, potentially bot. Because, again, if you look bot, if you look top, you're not going to roam right now because there's a wave coming in. But after you push this wave in, say, 15 to 20 seconds, if you look at the bot and see how they're pushing, I can push this wave in 15 to 20 seconds, then roam bot. You have a mission that you're planning on doing. And you can immediately act on it and you'll be there a lot faster than if you just push this wave, dilly-dally, and then look around the map, try to figure out what you're going to do, and then you waste 5 to 10 seconds and then the play's not there anymore, right? So that's probably the biggest thing, is just figuring out what you're going to do next. You see Hecarim's there. Malphite pings it for you. Again. Oh, that's unlucky. Nice dodge. Again, I don't think you were aware of it. I brought it up, but he's level 5 and you're level 6, almost level 7, so you know he's going to hit 6 soon. You don't know when, but you know he is soon. So that's just something to be careful, because if he hits 6 when one of those earlier minions died, you just die.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of times when I'm about to hit 6, but I don't know, and if I could play it off, I could have like snuck a kill in, or
Yeah.
I'm like level 1 about to hit level 2 off that 7th minion, but I'm just like autopilot probably, and I could have got more aggressive positioning to all in at level 2 while they're level 1. So there's a lot of times I do that too.
Okay. So again, your Talon's probably warding. So you can play aggressive here with your W. But yeah, now you play extremely passive. You have no W. He has ult, so you die if he goes on you. If he combos it correctly. This is very nice from you. You're poking him down slowly. You want to get the minion there. You get him too, and pop his bone plating. That's huge. Play a little passive till his second thing goes away. Yeah, you just kill him here. I don't know what he's doing, but very well done. He still had ult, so he was probably thinking he could outplay you, and then I don't know. So right here, you should be thinking, what do I want to do? While you're clearing the wave, what do you want to do? Right? Do you want to roam bot? Do you want to push for plate? Or do you want to reset?
Not a lot of gold.
Yeah. That's probably the correct play. I can't say for sure because their bot might be diveable and you have ult up. And you are still fairly healthy. You have 600-700 health. But it's probably best to just reset and not risk it. You're probably worth a shutdown. I would just reset immediately probably there because remember Talon's already dead. So, oh yeah, your wave got screwed. That's unfortunate. Forgot about that. But right now I'd like you to look bot because you already missed your reset timing. So if while you're pushing that in, you just quickly pan there for 1 second, you can see, are they low? Is the enemy bot lane low too? Right? Because if the enemy bot's low, Malphite's bot, maybe they don't have flash. Malphite might be hitting 6 soon. I'm not sure about that one. But right here, it would be good to potentially look. Because again, you're just kind of, it's hard to tell what the correct decision is. I don't know what the correct decision is because I can't see their health. But yeah, Hecarim ends up being there. Probably not much. You probably can't roam there. So now you can see that. But they're probably going to dive, so potentially could have been there and picked up a kill on the rewind. Yeah, I think you made the right choice by just resetting, but I think that was just a case of it happened to be the right choice, but you didn't know there was another option.
Because Hecarim was there. Yeah.
You didn't know there was another option. You just happened to pick a good one.
So
yeah.
I normally don't go to drag or rift unless the jungler, or Baron, I mean, unless the jungler is on it. I don't know why in this case, I don't know why I was over there hovering.
Yeah, I think it was because I was telling you to like kind of hover, but I didn't think you guys are going for that. I was just trying to make sure Malphite here could go to do his wolves. Because there were 2 options from the enemy. Drag. They could be doing dragon. Or they could be sitting in this bush.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure if they're bush camping, you can help your team and you can help him secure his camp. But if they are doing option number 1, you just kind of concede and you go back to mid, right?
And this might be wrong. I normally don't care about the first couple drags.
Dragons are really important. It's definitely something to care about, but obviously you don't int for them unless you can steal it. But like first dragons and rift are really important. Dragons especially, probably more than rift if you can help it, but just because they snowball so hard if you can get soul. But like here, I don't think I wasn't really thinking too hard here, so I probably should have told you to ping him off and not do it. But again, ideally you would walk back this way. The reason I say you walk up and around instead of this way is because again they're probably here on drag. Yeah. And you don't want to risk dying because you're probably worth a shutdown here. So is Ziggs. I don't know what he was thinking, but yeah, you just kind of walk back to lane. You could just right there, I'd say, when he was dying, just W over here and walk back to lane faster, try to push it in. But that's more just your support trolling. This is kind of nitpicky. Because remember, your wave is pushing to Talon, I think. Well, it might be pushing to you, actually. No, your wave's in a good spot, so that's fine for you to roam. Nice. He doesn't have ult, so you can kill him.
I don't know if I hit that.
No, you didn't. Right here, he still had his bone plating on. I think if you wait another half a second, wait for it to go off, and then use the Qs, you do more. Also, you take the W right here so you can get more autos in. I mean, more quickly. once you realize you're out of auto range, you chase him for another quarter of a second. That's when you ult. You waited too long. You might have been able to kill. Probably not still, but... Again, that's kind of nitpicky combo stuff.
I won't lie. I wouldn't even. You said that he didn't have ult. I wasn't even thinking that he. Like, I didn't know if he did or didn't.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have taken that. I mean, if I would have known, I would have. But
Yeah.
I didn't know that until you told me that.
Yeah. Because he ults there. So we know that. So that's also another thing to think about. You know he doesn't have ult. You could probably just go in right here when you hit that, when you realize you hit both Qs, because you have ult, he doesn't. He's playing really aggressively for not having ult. That's just a little bit of unlucky comboing, you know. I don't think there's too much to learn off of that. It's just a little unlucky. So yeah, I tell you to look, you look. You don't want to go for this fight, probably. Because we don't know where their team is. Talon's low, but he still could be there, and we don't know where Vayne is. So again, once you see Malphite ping here, there's no one here in the lane. You can easily push this. I'd like to see you pan your camera here quickly and see what Malphite intends to do because he pinged, right?
Right.
You don't know what he's thinking. You're not in comms with him. And of course you want to push your wave and then go in an ideal world, but you're better off missing a couple minions or a wave if you can get a kill, get a shutdown, help secure your team rift, and then 2 plates off of that rift, maybe towers, kill Vayne, right? So it's just, again, it's a lack of looking to see what's going on. So you see he reset. He probably has his ult again. Yeah, it's nice from you. Don't know what that dude's doing. But again, I'd like to see you pushing faster so you can help your team out. And again, this whole time while you're pushing that wave in and trading with Talon, you didn't look at the Hecarim in the Malphite. You don't know what's going on there still. Just another thing to kind of consider. You don't know what's going on top and there's a fight and you're not looking. And again, you're fighting the wave. You're not looking at what your teammate's planning on doing. You probably get the kill if you were actually looking. You're kind of focused on the wave. You're not focused on what's going on here. You see a ping. You continue hitting. 1, 2. If you were there, you could have flashed WEQ, killed both immediately. With that, probably ignited Talon. Your WEQ probably kills Heck. That, again, that's probably just you not really looking or expecting it. Oh, and that was really unlucky. Yeah. But again, that's just, you weren't really looking at the map. You were too focused on the minion wave. That's just something to consider. Try to, do you have the ability to use F keys or anything like that on your
not
Surface?
Really on this, no.
I rebound it, so I don't actually use F keys on F1. I use Z, X, C, and V because I don't really use those for anything else. I think that's a lot easier to hit than the F keys. That's just something to consider. At the very least, rebind the jungle F key to something that you can hit easily because that's one you want to look at a lot as a mid laner because you want to see if you can either that, or if you're not going to do F keys, get very good at quickly panning, clicking, looking at the minimap where something's going on, then pressing space again so you can look at yourself. Pan back to you, but... Because from what I've seen, you don't need too much help with your laning. You seem to be doing pretty well. You farm well.
Well, I mean, I've got over like 1 million.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fairly good at the matchups. I usually get fed.
Yeah.
It's just, I really think I just have a big macro
Yeah.
issue.
And again, the ability probably isn't really what are you doing macro wise. It's just you don't have enough information to figure out what to do because you're not looking around enough, right? you can only take as much information in and figure out what to do based off of how much you can see, and you're not looking around and you're not able to see a lot. And a lot of the time you might realize that I'm saying, oh, I don't know if that's the right call because I don't have the information either because I can't pan for you. Right here, I'd probably focus on just shoving and roaming bot. I wouldn't even bother with Talon because, again, you might want to roam top because your Malphite's here. He has ult. Your Ornn has ult. I'd probably actually just say, screw this. Just push this wave, ping Malphite off of that, and just say gank top and push the wave and roam. Right? Because you're already 5-1. Right? You are already so ahead of the Talon. You could kill him here and maybe get a plate or something, but that really doesn't help your team. Right? That doesn't help you carry this game, killing the Talon again. Whereas getting pressure on the Vayne, getting pressure on the bot lane, getting those shutdowns that they have, pressuring the map, helping your team out, allowing your Ornn to farm a few waves for free, get some damage on the tower, that's what's going to help you win the lane. You're already up so far. There's no point doing that. Again, you ended up doing it. I'm not sure if it's because I told you to or not. Or
it is. That's why. I mean, you said to push the wave and ignore the Talon. And
okay.
This is where we roam top, but we're looking bottom.
Yeah, I said immediately roam top because I didn't know what was going on in either of the lanes. I had a rough time figuring out which lane to roam to because if I was able to look top and look bot, I would have been able to say, you know what, bot looks like a better gank because they're pushing up so far. But the reason I picked top was your Malphite was top side, so I was like,
yeah, and
other side of the jungler.
Roam, it's almost always whichever side the jungler's on.
Yeah, but if I was able to see bot, they're pretty low. You probably could have roamed bot here and you would have gotten the double kill. I think they might get it anyway. But that, you probably would have been able to help get the Ziggs. But remember, that's only because I can only help you there so much as the information I'm provided. And if I'm not able to make the right decision based off that information, you wouldn't be able to. Right? So again, you ping them really far off. You see, this is something, you see Talon going there. There's nothing he can do. He doesn't even have ult. He's just running it down. You ping him off. But he's going to die to Ziggs ult here. Something. And he dies. That's a little unlucky. But notice how if you roamed bot there, you might have decided to roam top still because it was very close. The Ornn lived with like half a health and your jungler was top side, but you might have decided to roam bot if you'd looked. Right here, honestly, he's still in base. I say you just push this wave and you just ping him and type Jhin mid and ping them a lot, and they'll always listen if you say it confidently, especially when you're 5-1. They'll listen to you 90% of the time, right? Right. The reason I say that is 3 of these minions are going to die, 3 of these minions are going to die by the time you get there and by the time he gets here. So you'll miss none of this, and he'll miss maybe one of these.
There's a lot of times when, like, let's say I get mid tower down and I'm like, okay, I don't want to sit mid anymore, and I'll go bot. Well, like, they won't switch, so we have 3 people bot, and I'll just go back mid. Like, I'll just concede because I'm like, okay, you're not gonna rotate. And screw me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, you see what's going on here. You see Hecarim for a quarter of a second on the minimap and again, but you're not looking at him. You're still holding Y, you're holding at yourself. So you probably could have killed him if you were looking at him. Or if you looked over there, right? Again, that's a little more nitpicky, but that's still something to consider. If you were looking at him, you might have been able to kill him. He might have been able to ult out, but Yeah. Yeah, again, here I'd probably try to give it to Jin, only because it's hard for Zed to 1v5 a team.
Oh, I know.
So you want to at least have one person who's somewhat useful, and Jin, if he had an extra kill, he might be able to do... Whoa, that's fucking huge. What the fuck? He might be able to at least pressure a little bit and do some damage. But again, that's not a huge thing. Right here is really good. Really, really good for you. Again, right there, I think you got a little bit lucky that he messed up his W. So right here, you should be thinking, you WEQ onto Ziggs. What is he going to do? Right?
He's getting W or flash or something.
He's going to WF. So if you're thinking, that's what he wants to do, what can I do to get around his W flash, right? You can try to ult when he uses his W to follow him, right? So what I'd like to see you... Your frames are dropping a little, so I'm not going to be too upset. But right
honestly,
here...
They're usually like 80 or 90.
Yeah, but like right here, I'd like to see you... You see that he uses his W. He would knock you back and knock himself forward. If he's smart. Again, this is... Right here, it doesn't matter. But in the future and in other scenarios, you want to think, what are they going to do to try to escape? And what can I do to make sure I still get the kill?
Yeah. Usually, when I'm leaning against Ziggs, if he just throws his W, I usually all in him. Like,
oh yeah, he should never use his W. Yeah, that's again unlucky. It wasn't looking, or you're talking to me or something. I won't look into that much. Yeah, you roam top here because if Vayne does show, you might be able to get something. There's nothing for you to get bot side here. You lose this fight no matter what. And so they're going for a plague for a bot side. Here, I'll just type it. You can either contest it if you think you win, or go for a play on the other side of the map, right? So that's what you do. I tell you to go for a play on the top side of the map because Vayne's probably... This is silver gold. She's going to just mindlessly show up top and... Ooh, Orin, I'm Vayne. I can 1v1 her and then not put a ward down and then die to you. So that's what ends up happening. So very well done. You get a huge shutdown on her, I think. That's kind of troll from your ADC, but nothing you can do about that. So we'll talk about this fight. So yeah, you waste a few seconds walking this way. I would have liked to have seen you try to flank a little bit. You could have tried to catch the Vayne off and alter the... Before you start the fight, it's important to think who are the main targets in this game. And right now you should think Vayne and Ziggs, right? Those are the two you want to kill. And if you're able to kill one, you just take it. If instead of walking around this way, I think you might swap and end up going that way, but you waste a few seconds. If instead of walking here to here, you walked here to here, you'd already be within range to WEQR, whatever, combo her. If you can dodge her... If you dodge her E, you win and you one-shot her and you don't die. Right? So it's just important to play around that. But you see what I mean? You walk all the way around and then you end up dying and don't even get anything useful done with your ult. But does that make sense? You want to generally flank
that's right.
and catch them by surprise. Because worst case, if Vayne ends up... let's go back for a sec. If Vayne ends up... If you're here and Vayne ends up just walking back around this way, that's another win, because that means Vayne joins the fight late.
Yeah.
And she has to walk all the way around, and she won't be very useful for the fight. So you're able to kill these two without your ult. And then it's like, oh shit, we won the fight there. Is Vayne gonna really go for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to recognize that. That's just one thing. But generally, on an assassin, you want to flank. Probably not too much more to talk about in this game. It's a bit of a troll game right here. You're looking at it. You're helping your jungle. Notice this is a 3v, potentially 5. Yeah. Again, your bot lane was in the base. That was one thing I was talking about before the coaching session. Your bot wasn't able to capitalize on if you guys die and don't get anything, they weren't able to get anything because they were in base. They had their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole team there, so it was a 5v3. There's no way you guys ever win that, but there's probably not too much else to learn from this game, you know. But do you have any questions about anything?
I definitely, I don't know if it's just because the game didn't last very long, but I definitely didn't split at all really that
Yeah.
game. Would you still think that that is like the go-to as Zed, at least specifically?
So it's a bit of a hard topic to cover without examples, but you definitely do want to split a lot. You at the very least, let me get. There we go. Oh yeah, there are these. So we'll just say that you're blue side right now. And we'll say you're the M, your mid laner. You always want to go to the side lane and pick up the waves here to here or here to here when possible, right? Whether or not you decide to keep pushing further depends on, again, is your team on the map up here or here? If they're in base, push the wave, make sure the wave goes up, but then you take farm, you take farm, you take farm, you set up vision, right? You prepare, but if you're the only one on the map, if your team's not anywhere to take any, put pressure to these lanes or other objectives. If you're the only pressure, they're going to be able to easily come and kill you. Again, if their team is 5-manning mid and your team is 4-manning, and if their team has a blitz or a thresh or a lot of hard engaged Hecarim, just push the wave, go collect the wave, and then roam back mid, right? Because your team's surely going to lose without you because you're probably going to be the fed one, you're said, right? So it's until you get higher elos, probably don't worry too much about splitting because your team will probably just go for the fight. But just keep it in the back of your mind. It's the right play to push a lot of the time, but in gold, it's wrong. Because it's better to be there for a fight that's not good than to let your team get aced and get Baron.
When I watch a lot of people, they're constantly splitting, but their team also is working with that. Like they're like dancing in front of 4 or 5 people as 4 people, like kind of just distracting them. Like they're not fighting.
Yeah, but they're applying pressure.
My team's like, oh crap, Zed's not here. Let's fight it
Yeah.
out.
Another thing you can do is just type to your team. You know, type to your team, just stay back, ping them off if it looks like they're fighting. And again, constantly pan your camera. Look, should you go? Should you move to the fight if it breaks out? You should know immediately if you'll get there in time. Another one is... Are they sending people for you, you know? Are there T2, T1 towers? You know, this all makes sense?
Yes.
All right. That's probably the main stuff with splitting. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than this, but...
Right, so I don't have TP, but I usually split on the opposite side of the objective. Is that like a really big no-no? I feel like they usually ignore me more if I do that. That might be wrong.
In gold, it's fine. They're not going to force it most of the time.
Okay, because like drag will be up. Actually, that's how I decide if I'm going top or bot. If drag's up, I usually go top.
If
Especially,
your top laner's doing
if
decent
there
and
is
he has
split.
teleport, you should go bot. But it really depends on the situation. It's hard to say blanket statements.
If I'm trying to split bot and drag's up, there's definitely 3 or 4 people on the enemy team hanging around there.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm splitting top and drag's up, they're not near me.
Yep. In general, so you almost always want to catch the minion waves between your tier 1 and tier 2 towers. So that's around, like, if your blue side here and here, you always want to catch the waves in this area, or here too. You know, just almost always go to catch these waves. And then decide from there, do you continue to push? Or do you then go and roam to force a team fight? Because if you push this wave in, you have 2 options basically. The minion wave starts pushing here. This is option 1. Push. That is horrible. Push and fight. And option 2, split. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So option 1. Option 2, I think you're familiar with. You just push and you just continue to go. Option 1 is you push the wave, and so the minion wave starts going here. Red side will send someone here, right? Often their top, right? Or their bot or whatever. And while they're busy clearing this wave here, you go with your team, you flank enemy team, you force a 5v4. Right? Or maybe you force the Baron when their team's catching this wave. Or you show up here, the enemy top decides to just go here as well. Well, then they're missing a huge minion wave here, and you're getting damage on the tower, so that's a win if you don't fight, right? it's all theoretical and it's kind of hard to say without an example.